You hear stories of local government chairmen building houses, engaging in white elephant projects, sending their children abroad with the money that is meant to develop the local government. In that case, one could conclude they've embezzled funds kept under their care. That is a problem. The last one, but not of course the least, is lack of trained personnel. Most people who work in the local government are not properly trained. And when they are not trained, you could guess that they go to work and sleep all day till it is 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. and they go home. These are some of the basic problems of the local government. Let us now talk about measures to improve local government administration. If we have problems, we can now talk about solutions. One of the solutions to the problems I mentioned earlier is to properly fund the local government. If the local governments are properly funded, chances are that they will function properly. Second, trained personnel should be employed. Even when untrained personnel are employed, they should be allowed to undergo serious, intensive training so that they can function optimally. Again, serious sanctions and punishments should be meted out on those who embezzle funds. If it is established by a court of law that an official of the local government has embezzled funds, such persons should be treated seriously to serve as a deterrent to others who may be contemplating such actions. Questions. I shall ask you 3 questions and expect you know the answers, even though of course I'll give you a clue to them. The first, define the local government. I'm sure you remember that we said that it is the government at the 3rd tier of government established to perform certain functions as stipulated by the Constitution. What about the public corporation? Do you remember what I said about the public corporation? It is an establishment set up by the government and managed by the government. And of course, with taxpayers' money to provide essential services to the citizens. What is public opinion? You remember I said that public opinion is the aggregate or totality of the feelings of people, of the masses, over a matter of national interest. We now move over to the next topic, and that is pre-colonial administration. Now, we shall be talking about the Hausa/Fulani pre-colonial administration, the Igbo pre-colonial administration, and of course the Yoruba pre-colonial administration. We shall first of all start with Hausa/Fulani pre-colonial administration. Before the Jihad of 1804, the areas now referred to as the northern states were ruled by the Hausas under 14 kingdoms. But after the Jihad that was led by Uthman Dan Fodio, the Hausas fell to the Fulanis. After this war that the Hausas lost, the Fulanis now established what we refer to as the Emirates. So each Emirate was now ruled by an Emir, and the headquarters were in Sokoto and Gwandu. So the Emirs of both Sokoto and Gwandu appointed other Emirs for other Emirates. And of course, these Emirs were regarded as both political heads, spiritual head, and administrative head of their Emirates. Of course, the judicial administration of these Emirates were anchored on the Sharia law. Of course, the Sharia law is anchored basically on the teachings of Prophet Muhammad. Of course, some officials were appointed by these Emirs. They are the Waziri, that's the senior official, or the Emir's administrative advisor, the Madawaki, who is the commander of the army, the Galadima, who is the administrator of the capital, the Maji, who is the officer in charge of treasury, and of course the second power, who is the officer in charge of butcher. We now go over to the Igbo pre-colonial system. In the Igbo pre-colonial system, political powers were decentralized. They were shared among the village elders, village assemblies, even among the age grades. So power was not centralized in the Igbo pre-colonial system. And that is of course the reason one could say of the Igbo pre-colonial system that it was acephalous in nature. Of course, the highest political unit in the Igbo pre-colonial system was the village. And the village was made up of 2 important institutions, and that is the Council of Elders and the Village Assembly. The Council of Elders are made up of elders from different families in the village. And of course, the chairman of this council is the oldest among them, who held the big offer title. Don't forget that members of the village council or the council of elders are all offer title holders. But of course, the eldest among them held the big offer title, and he was the chairman. The second institution of the village is the village assembly, made up of young, energetic men from different families and representing each of their families. And these people, together with the council of elders, made up the highest village unit, that's the highest political unit, that's the village assembly. And of course, whenever there is a decision to make, both the council of elders and the village assembly all congregated and matters were debated upon. Every member, both the council of elders and the village assembly, had the right to say their mind and air their view on any matter. And whatever matter is supposed to be decided upon is done only by persuasion. And of course, when the matter has been discussed, they are taken back to each member of the family to either ratify or totally reject. So that is why they could say of the Igbos that they knew no king. There was no one particular person who says it all and everyone follows behind. No, that was not the case in the Igbo pre-colonial system, political system. We shall now quickly go over to the Yoruba political system. We shall use the Oyo Empire as the case study here. We shall not be able to cover all aspects of the Yoruba pre-colonial system. But using the Oyo Empire, we shall use that as a microcosm for whatever happened in the Yoruba pre-colonial system. We shall be discussing four main important organs: the Alaafin, the Council of Oyomesi, the Ogboni, and of course the army organization headed by the Ariona Kankafu. The Alaafin is seen as the king. Now, the Alaafin had the right to appoint the army general, but this appointment is subject to the ratification of the Council of Oyomesi. The Council of Oyomesi is the congregation of 7 kingmakers. Of course, part of what they do is to ratify the appointment of the Alaafin. Again, they had the rights to ask the Alaafin to open up an empty calabash if the Alaafin proves obstinate. If the Alaafin is obstinate, the Council of Oyomesi, that the kingmakers, invite the Alaafin, demands he opens an empty calabash, and of course at the end of the day, the Bashono, which is the leader of the Council of Oyomesi, would announce that Alaafin has been deposed, and that would lead to Alaafin committing suicide. But of course, the Council of Oyomesi equally had the duty of appointing a new Alaafin in the case of the death of the old one. Again, whatever excesses the Council of Oyomesi would find themselves in was curtailed by the Ogboni. The Ogboni members are a group of strong diviners, and this Ogboni would actually subject the demands of the Council of Oyomesi to scrutiny. So the Ogboni members checked the Council of Oyomesi, and the Council of Oyomesi checked the Alaafin himself. Of course, in the Yoruba pre-colonial system of administration, one could talk about the effective use of the principle of checks and, of course, balance. The last group is the army organization. The army organization was headed by the Ariona Kankafu. Their duty was to protect or provide territorial protection for the entire empire. And in a case where the army suffers a great defeat, then the Ariona Kankafu is expected to commit suicide. And of course, we have incidences where the Ariona Kankafu, in the case of Afonja, refused to commit suicide and takes to his heels. Now, we've been able to discuss 4 main organs of the Yoruba pre-colonial system of administration. Don't forget I mentioned the Alaafin, who is the king, the Council of Elders headed by the Bashono, 7 kingmakers, and the Ogboni group. Of course, I said that they were a group of diviners, and of course the army organization. We are done with the Hausa pre-colonial system, the Igbo pre-colonial system of administration, and finally the Yoruba. We shall quickly do a comparison here now. In the Hausa/Fulani system of pre-colonial administration, it was clear that power was centralized. The emir was both the political head the judicial head, and of course the